Welcome to the 12 Days of Christmas Fat Loss Edition. For the next 12 days, we're diving into real strategies and tools that actually help women lose stubborn fat after 40. These aren't trends, they're not extremes, and it's definitely not me telling you you just need more willpower. We're still releasing our regular weekly episodes too, so make sure you're following the show so you don't miss a thing. All right, let's get into today's episode. I want to start by saying something very clearly. Just because you're over 40, just because you're exhausted, just because you're running a business, raising kids, managing a household, or doing all of the above, does not mean your best shape is behind you. In fact, for a lot of women, it's just getting started. And when I say best shape, I'm not just talking about the way you look. I am talking about feeling hot as fuck. Strong, confident, clear-headed, energetic, sexy in your own skin again. It's not just about vanity. It's about optimal health. Somewhere along the way, women were taught that wanting to feel hot, confident, and desirable, especially after 40, was shallow or something to be embarrassed about, especially if you're a mom, especially if you're a leader, especially if you're busy. But here's the truth. Feeling hot AF is one of the strongest markers of metabolic health. Because when your metabolism is working, you don't just lose weight easier. You have energy, you have drive, you have motivation and healthy sex drive and great mental clarity. Hot AF isn't just an aesthetic goal. It's a physiological one. Here's what I see over and over again. Women hit their late 30s and early 40s and suddenly feel exhausted or flat or less motivated, less confident in their body, resistant to fat loss, and they kind of just think this is just aging, this is just stress, this is just how life is now, and they resign to that idea that they don't actually want to feel good in their skin again because it feels harder. Well, no. What's actually happening is burnout is meeting your biology. That's years of chronic stress and under eating or overfunctioning, doing everything for everybody else, poor recovery, running on caffeine and adrenaline. And it is all finally catching up with you. But not because you did anything wrong, but because your body has limits. And this is accumulative. Here's the part that I really want you to hear. Women over 40 don't lose the ability to get results. They lose the ability to abuse their bodies and still get results. Hear the difference? And that's a good thing because when you stop trying to force outcomes and start supporting your body, you often end up in the phase of life where you build more muscle, you're in better shape, you have a strong metabolism, you have even more confidence, and a healthier relationship with food and exercise than you ever had in your 20s. Fat loss after 40 isn't harder, it's actually more intelligent. The shift looks like this. Less punishment, more precision. Less chaos, more structure. Less doing everything harder, and more supporting the systems that are exhausted for easier results. Hot AF isn't about shrinking, it's about building capacity. The capacity to train hard, feel fucking great, and recover. The capacity to fuel your body without fear. Fear of carbs, fear of dessert, fear of alcohol, fear of food. The capacity to handle stress without crashing, and the capacity to feel confident and desirable again. That's real health. For me personally, this realization has hit a couple of times in multiple seasons of major depletion after my first and second pregnancy, and certainly during COVID. So instead of asking, how do I get smaller again? I started asking, how do I rebuild my energy, strength, and confidence properly? And that's why, starting in January, just next week, I'll be documenting exactly what I'm doing inside and out to regain my hot AFness. Not because it's not going to be a do what I do blueprint, but instead a real-time example of what it looks like to stop forcing and start supporting your body. Because this applies whether you're postpartum, running a company, managing a household, or simply burnt out for doing everything for everybody else. Quick pause. If you're listening and thinking, I want that, but I don't know where to start, clarity comes first. I have a free metabolism assessment that identifies which system needs the most support right now. Is it stress? Is it minerals, hormones, gut, or metabolic adaptation? This is how I approach my own body and my clients. The link for this metabolism assessment is in the show notes or in my Instagram bio. I want to leave you with this. Your desire to feel hot as fuck isn't superficial. It's information. It's your body telling you it wants to feel alive again. And when you give it what it actually needs, not what diet culture or hustle culture has told you to do, the results actually come and stay long term. Not because you pushed harder, but because you finally worked with your body. Tomorrow, we're talking about the habits you think are helping and are actually keeping you stuck. If you want to follow along with the Hot AF movement and my January series, make sure you're following me on Instagram at @MichelleScarlett_ and subscribe to the podcast. I'll be documenting it all. Real life, real strategy, no bullshit. I'll see you tomorrow for day 8 of the 12 Days of Christmas Fat Loss Edition.